Hi, welcome to RV to Freedom Live with Corinne and Brandon. And we are here today with John Waller from FMCA to tell us about the FMCA club and some exciting new news they have going on and the benefits to everybody and, all the cool stuff. So here is John. Let me hide that. Hi, John.
Hello, how's it all going? Good to see you.
Hi.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. We know there's a lot of new news and a lot of stuff going on with FMCA, and we're talking about RV clubs this month. So we thought this would be a great opportunity to get to know the new FMCA. So if we can go over maybe a brief overview of what the club is just in general and even some of the history, because I think it's pretty neat how it started with house cars in the beginning.
All right. Well, first of all, are we communicating now? Can you hear me?
We can hear you pretty good.
Okay. Well, Family Motor Coach Association is the world's largest nonprofit RV association in the world. And the main difference between FMCA and any other club out there is that you own your club. We are incorporated in the state of Ohio by the IRS as a nonprofit educational association. Every other club out there is for profit. And they're all good clubs. There's wonderful clubs out there. I saw on your website that obviously you're a member of the Escapees Club or the young escapees, the energized ones. I forget the name of that. And but you do have to understand that everything they do is to make profit for their corporation, and of course that's the American way. But FMCA was started in 1963. It was the same year. You guys are too young, but I remember distinctly in 1963, Peter, Paul, and Mary introduced the iconic song "Puff the Magic Dragon," and that was the same time that song came out that a bunch of young families were meeting in Hinckley, Maine, for a weekend campfire get together in their old converted school buses, and that's the starting. That's how FMCA started. And it's grown ever since. Today, I'm proud to say that we have as of right now today 74,805 member coaches, and by the end of this month, we'll have way over 75,000 active member coaches. So that's in my mind, that's wonderful, because at the peak of the industry, we had about 120,000 member coaches, and in 2003 the bottom fell out everywhere, and we started losing members left and right, and then we started trying to stop the loss, and then in 2008 the bottom fell out of the whole economy, and everyone died, and now things are really looking up. Our membership is growing every month. We have the best benefits of any club out there, bar none. And I'm delighted that you younger people are taking to the road. When I was working, I remember a couple of funny things. One, my next door neighbor was the president of General Telephone. His name was Virgil Long. And I went to a convention in Chicago, and I saw a device about the size of a large attaché case, and they called it a bag phone. I don't know if you've ever seen an old bag phone. Well,
yeah, my mom had one, and we carried it sometimes.
Well, that was the latest technology, and I saw that as a way to be able to conduct business without being in my office in Elkhart. And then I asked Virgil, I said, Virgil, what do you think about this bag phone? And I saw one in Chicago. And he said, John, he said, it's just a fad. He said, it'll be years and years before that takes off. Well, within a year, it took off worldwide, and then GTE is gone now, and things are just going crazy. So I am so envious that you guys. I assume you're too young to be retired, so I assume that you're working some way out of your motorhome. You said you've been full time for 3 years, and I've met a lot of people just like you. So it's a great deal.
Yeah, definitely makes definitely easier to hit the road nowadays with technology and having the phone and having the internet in our pockets.
Yeah,
Right.
it's hard to imagine how people got together and did anything before that, and I'm sure that's why clubs like this came about, because people need it, and we still do. We still, like, you can interact on the phone all you want, but you got to interact in person, and you got to find people.
Right. And that's the reason why FMCA invested heavily in the platform, the R Village social media RVers platform that you're all familiar with. I thought that was a fabulous idea, and able to connect people to see where our village people are in proximity to you. I think maybe you mentioned somewhere in the past that you had actually attended a get together in some area by joining with them. And I've done that many times, and it's really quite the deal. I like it. So
yeah, they just had one in Quartzsite when we were just up there.
Yeah.
Curtis, I think there's around 50 or 60 people there at least for his get together. So
there was. I mean, he was able to just hit it and invite everyone in Quartzsite too. So
at the yacht club in the desert.
There you go. Yeah, I like that. On the way out here, I was parked next to a young couple about your age, some campground, and they had he was out there polishing and spit shining his fifth wheel, and he had it was a big one, a 3-axle fifth wheel, and he was pulling it with a Ford F450 brand new matching pickup truck. And I asked him, I said, "Boy, that's a beautiful rig." And he stopped and we chatted a little bit, and I said, "How long have you had this rig?" And he said, "Oh, it's brand new." And I said, "Well, what did you have before this one?" And he got blushy and he said, "Nothing. This is the first one we've ever had." And I said, "Well, have you ever done any camping in your life?" And they said no. And I said, "Well, it's somewhat unusual for this to happen. What caused you to do this?" And they said, "Well, I was in the Marines, and I was stationed in San Diego for several years. I just got out of the Marines, and my wife's a registered nurse, and we love the area, and she just got a job at a large hospital there, and we're moving to San Diego, and we started checking on how much it was going to cost for housing. We couldn't touch anything out there for less than $4,000 a month. So then I said, let's go look at a trailer, a camper." And she said, "Absolutely not. There's no way you're ever going to put me in a trailer trash type deal." And he said, "Well, come on, honey. Let's just take a look, see what you think." Well, anyway, long story short, she looked at it. She said, "Well, this is nicer than my house." And they're on their way to San Diego to work. So
that's awesome.
That's a great story. And I like your little logo about driving and scuba diving and eating. That's a pretty good conversation. But what do you guys do? What do you do to work? Well, how do you make a little money?
Well, we do marketing for different things. We write for the FMC magazine. That helps a little bit. We do design for people, so all the logos and stuff that you see on our site, we do that. We do it for other people as well. So like most RVers that don't work for full-time for a corporate job, we do a lot of different things so that we never have to go back to a cubicle again. So.
Good. I met another young couple that they have a small motorhome. They work everything from their motorhome. And what they do, they rep for a large company that makes steel buildings. So they actually help design garages and structures, and then they go around the country supporting that. So,
we actually know who that is. We just met them the other day. That's the Corey and his wife that do the Miracle Trust. Corey and Tanya. Yeah, we just went on an off-roading trip just the other day.
You've met them?
Yeah, we just met them. They were hanging out here in the desert as well. So,
My gosh, small world. Nice young
Exactly.
Right.
Especially in the wintertime, all the RVers get real close together in the wintertime because we all squeeze into the desert or squeeze into Florida.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way,
So you
our
mentioned about.
go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. You said you sounded like you had something to go for.
Well, our club, we have a 4-wheeler club, and it's the largest growing club in our association. We have over 400 different clubs or chapters, they call them, and they're all special interest. And our 4-wheeling chapter is in fact, for a while they stopped accepting members. And I told Betty Brewer,
Wow.
who's the president of it, I said, gosh, why would you want to limit the size of your club? I said that's no good. And she thought about it, and I saw her at Indio, California last week, and she said, hey, great news. We've taken the lid off of our club. As many people want to join as can join. The only stipulation is, as we have rallies, we will identify the rallies and where we're going for our trips, and then we just simply have to put a limit on how many we can accommodate at one time. So she said and they're selling out. Every time we announce one, they're instantly filled up. So they got
it. You can't really have 400 vehicles going through an off-road trail together.
Right.
Right. I understand. But it's a great club. So
that's cool. What are some of the other kinds of clubs that you guys have for people who aren't members or don't know about FMCA?
Gosh,
what are some of the other popular ones?
Out of 400 clubs, if you can dream it or if you have an interest in it, there's a club in FMCA for you. From I saw out of courtside, I saw a lot of amateur radio antennas sticking up out there. We have a club for ham radio operators. We have a club for gold wing motorcycles. We have a club for BMW motorcycles. We have a club for antique Cadillacs. I'm sure we have a scuba club. We have a club called Gourmands. They get together and they find real nice local restaurants as they travel, and they report on them. And they get together before or after our major conventions or our area get-togethers, and they meet at a real fine local restaurant and do that. So, and on the FMCA website, and by the way, we're launching a brand new website tomorrow or the next day. You can actually go on the site and you can see the list of every chapter we have. It talks about their history, their composition. It's just amazing how many out there. Plus, of course, if you have a Holiday Rambler motorhome, there's a club for that. If you, hopefully, is now that we have trailers and fifth wheels, towables on board, if you have a Grand Design fifth wheel, those people will start forming their own clubs, because what we found out is that if you have a manufacturer's club, people are going to join that to learn more about their unit from people that have it. And what's good about it for the manufacturer is that once the manufacturer helps support that club a little bit, you may have a get together and the manufacturer will send out some technicians for your rally, and they'll start fixing some things for you. And it's a given fact in FMCA that if you buy if you're in a motorhome specific club, the chances of you buying that same brand again is twice what it would if you weren't a member, because you've got to know the people, make friends in that chapter, and then you're going to buy another motorhome from the same brand. And
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was a little interesting point. That was one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight. You guys recently passed a vote that now it's not just the Family Motor Coach Association. Now you're also allowing towables in and opening it up, which we really like that, because all of our friends, for the most part, I mean, I'd say 30% of our friends have motorhomes, and the rest are all in various trailers, from Airstreams to travel trailers to fifth wheels. So, it's nice having a club where all of our friends can be in it together.
It sure is. And, for years, that question has come up for 20 years. And we have a summer convention that's how our club is governed. Every chapter, the 400 chapters, elect a delegate that represents that chapter at the convention. And it's always been soundly defeated, but no one has really studied the issue. So when I became vice president, along with the past president, we set out to go to every area rally in the country, and we did that for 5 years. And we talked to members about why you're against or in favor of allowing trailers and fifth wheels in our association. And I'd always start out my benefits seminar. There'd be 400 or 500 people in the room, and I'd say, hey, I want everybody to raise your hand that's ever been tent camping. Well, 90% of them raise their hand. And I said, how many of you have ever been wilderness camping? How many have you ever been in a pop-up trailer? They all raise their hand.
Us too. Yeah.
We've all been there, except Walker.
Yeah.
I've never, my motorhome was the first thing we had, and I bought it because my largest customer was the University of Notre Dame. So I would entertain customers at Notre Dame football games back when Lou Holtz was there and they were actually winning some games. And they made a rule that only a motorhome could be on campus. And then it got too big. And then they made a rule that only a bus could be on campus. So I bought a Prevost bus, a converted bus. And I got by with that for about a year. And then people said, that's not a commercial bus. That's a motorhome conversion. So I got my DOT number and I put 16 seats in it. And I met all the qualifications for a commercial bus. And I used that until I retired. And
Nice.
Wow.
and my brother and I was in business with me, and he tried it out, he and his wife, and they did not like it at all. My wife Sandra and I took it to a game in Columbus, Ohio, when Notre Dame played Ohio State, and we loved it, and we got hooked, and we've been motorhoming ever since. So, but the question is, to get back to your towable question, you know, the key phrase that seemed to pop up over and over again simply is, it's not about the equipment, it's about the people and the lifestyle. And that's what it's all about, in my opinion.
Right.
So we took a vote,
Yeah.
and then we, in order to make it work, you had to have a change in our Constitution, which required a vote of every member. Every member had a 90-day window to vote, and we put that out, and it was over the end of November. We had over 10,000 votes from our 75,000 members. So that's not that great of a vote, but it's probably about what typical votes are. But it was 70% in favor and 30% against. But now that it's passed, we've already got 550 signed up, and we haven't even started advertising. We're not even putting word out there yet that it's available. So
Nice.
word of mouth is starting to spread. So
Yeah.
and we're tracking that every day. We're tracking how many motorhomes sign up, new ones, and how many new towables. And I think that you're going to see that towable keep on increasing as we go forward. So we're open to everybody. And again, we got
Nice.
the best benefits there are. You cannot beat our benefits in your member-owned club. So.
That's something we wanted to talk about some of the major benefits. I think a lot of people know about, or people have heard about, the tire benefit that you guys have with Michelin, especially. Yeah. And but you've added some other new ones. So could we just kind of discuss a little bit about that? Like, what is the tire benefit everybody hears about, and what are some of the new ones you added?
Yeah, we actually use the tire benefit quite a lot. We got 6 new tires on this RV, and that helped out a ton for the small fee of enrolling in FMCA.
How much did you save when you went through that program?
We saved $80 per tire. So that's on 6 tires. So that's
$240.
Yeah, $240 off of what's it, 40 something to enroll in FMCA. So that was definitely worth it.
I mean, you've paid for your dues for 10 years. I mean, we always ask that question every time we get together with people. And the show of hands, we said, how many have used the program? How many have saved money? They raise their hand. How much have you saved? $500. How much do you save? $400. How much you save? $1,200. It's
Yeah.
on. And it's not a complicated deal. You do it all online. You tell you exactly what the price are. You can have them installed at the authorized places all over the place. Anyway, it works. But another key benefit that no one else has, and younger people may not think it's that important, but we have what we call FMCA Assist, and that is a medical evacuation insurance policy. So let's say, for instance, you're out in the courtside, out in the desert somewhere, and you're out four-wheeling, and you turn over and you get hurt, seriously hurt. They're going to try to get you to either Eisenhower Hospital. No, that's in India. But anyway, they're going to get you to the nearest hospital. You're going to call 911. They're going to get you there. The doctor receives you, evaluates you, and said, "My God, you got a punctured lung. We can't treat you here. We've got to airlift you to Phoenix, Arizona, which is the nearest qualified place to take care of your punctured lung." At that point, you call the 800 worldwide number, and the insurance company makes the arrangements to get you to Phoenix. It makes arrangements to get your vehicle, your trailer or your motorhome, your tow vehicles, your pets, and you have dogs. I think you got some dogs, and
Yeah, we got a couple of dogs here.
and one cat, I think, right now. Anyway, it'll get your animals to with you. And if, heaven forbid, that you should die, it also instantly takes care of getting everything home, making all the legal contacts to get your body cremated or embalmed and shipped back to wherever you want it to go. And it gets better and better, guys. I said, you don't have to be in your motorhome. You don't have to be in your trailer. You can be in your car. You can be anywhere in the world. You can be on a cruise ship. You can be scuba diving in Belize. I mean, it's anywhere. And it works. And but you have to follow the rules. You have to follow the simple 1, 2, 3 rules. Call 911. Talk to the attending physician. He says you got to move. You call Seven Corners, and they take care of everything. And I keep getting terrible responses. I got a call from a president of a chapter in Florida about a month ago, and he's an avid scuba diver. And they were out in the Bahamas scuba diving. His wife was a newbie, and they were scuba diving, and something happened to her. She panicked. I don't know what happened to her, but they were able to save her. And she was I think she threw an embolism or something. I don't know what it was, but they immediately had to airlift her to Miami, Florida, and they helicoptered her there. And he did not call Seven Corners. He talked to the doctor. The doctor said, "We got to get you to Miami." And he said, "Well, okay." So the hospital made arrangements to airlift her to Miami, and then he got a bill for $40,000. And so he took the bill and he sent the bill to FMCA and said, "Here's my receipts, pay it." It does not work that way. So he's out 40 grand. I don't know.
Just have to make sure we follow the benefits as they're written, but if we do, then they're great benefits. So that's
right. For you guys, for this new couple I just signed up a couple of weeks ago that had the new fifth wheel, I told them about our new Tech Connect program through Verizon and through Sprint. You can get unlimited MiFi devices like this little one I got.
nice.
$50 a month, unlimited. One of them, the Verizon, will throttle you back if you exceed whatever it is, 25 or 30 gigabytes. The Sprint says they will, but so far they haven't. That's a brand new benefit. The best benefit, I think, beside the tire, money-wise, we just announced a roadside assistance program. We call it Roadside Rescue. It's the absolute best one on the market. Your Escapees people introduced it this week, and it's significantly more money than ours. It's the same program because there's only a couple players in the country that offer them, but ours is the best one out there, and it's $69 a year. Some clubs out there give you a real low initial price, and then they they abate and then they switch it next year. When you get your renewal, it's 2 or 3 times that. Ours is actually $69 a year. It's unlimited calls, and you can prepay it and lock in that price for up to 3 years.
Nice.
That we just introduced it, and we've already got 1,200 people signed up for it. It's amazing.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's a nice one, especially with CoachNet keeps going up and up and up every year. So that's nice to have an alternative that's not that expensive.
Right. And the one I've got, right now, I paid $109 for mine. It's the same program, which is now $69, and we were able to drop that price, get that price because of our numbers. We can leverage the 150,000 people out there. So we're working on gas discounts. That's been a hard nut to crack, but we're working on that. They're just all kind of, our roadside assistants also have trip routing built into it, although I don't know why anyone would ever use that anymore, but people do. So.
Hey, at least you're honest about it.
Yeah.
Those are our major ones. So
nice. Awesome. So did you have any more questions about the benefits?
No, I think that's fine.
So what's interesting is you have the Join John's Journey on the FMCA website.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're out meeting people. Like you said, you've met these couples out there. So what are you doing? Traveling as president? You just hitting the road and going all over?
When I took office, the president, we have 10 geographical areas in North America. We have the Northwest, the Western, the Southeast, the South Central, the Great Lakes, the Midwest, the Northeast, Southeast. I go to each one of those areas. They have their chapters located in those geographical areas. And then the area has a annual rally get together. They call them an area rally, and everyone's invited to that. So I just on January 1st, my wife and I left Elkhart, Indiana, and we drove to California for the Western Areas rally. And they had, I think they had maybe 800 or 900 coaches there. And then we went to Quartzsite for the show, the big show that's going on right now. And then
we stopped by and tried to find you, but we couldn't find you in that crazy crowd.
It's terrible. It's really terrible.
Yeah.
We stayed out in the desert at a chapter. There was a manufacturer's coach called Beaver. They have a fairly large chapter, and they stay out there a week or two. So we went for 2 days staying there. But now we're back in Phoenix. We're in Surprise at Happy Trails, and there are like 2,000 sites here for motorhomes and trailers. And Thursday we go to Chandler, which is a south suburb on the way to Tucson. There's an Indian reservation there, and we're meeting with the officials of that reservation about the possibility of coming back here next winter for our winter convention. We have a winter convention and a summer convention. And this winter will be in southern Georgia, Perry, Georgia, in March 15th. And then in the summer, July 18th, we'll be in Gillette, Wyoming for our summer convention, which is our business meeting. And then hopefully the following winter we'll be in Chandler in March for the winter convention. So we rotate all over the place for these big conventions. And as president, I have to go to all those. And I think I've got 95,000 miles on my coach, which is just turned 3 years old. So we keep moving.
Wow. That's a lot of moving.
After Chandler on the visit this week, Thursday, then we leave to go to Florida, to Lakeland, Florida for the Southeastern Areas rally. Then back home for a week. We're gone all the time.
Nice. That's funny. They just asked if you're going to be at the Southeast area rally. So I guess the answer is yes. Yes, the answer is yes. And look me up. I got this blue shirt on, and I'd love to meet everybody. I try to meet everybody that's there. It's going to be a wonderful rally. They're having that in Lakeland at an airport. It's called Fun and Sun. It's a really nice facility. The people have organized it, have done a good job. I think they've already got 450 or 500 coaches signed up, and
Trailers and fifth wheels are invited to that, and in fact, they're invited to all of our conventions. I think most all of our areas too. So come on out and join the fun. It's Sun and Fun. So
Nice.
Well, you might, if you have watched any of our past shows this December, you might recognize the guy coming out too, because it is John Santa Hawes. He's one of our students. And
yes, and
if you look like see Santa Claus, that you got to say hello.
Yeah,
I know John. I've met him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do. So
nice.
So,
if people want to check out John's journey, it's
because you were documenting it as you go across, right? You're actually writing.
I got to hang my head in shame because I'm behind. I've been so busy just traveling and going. It's hard to sit down and write for me.
Yeah.
But the idea was to try to start a conversation. The idea is to write about where I'm going and who I'm meeting and what we're doing, and then get people in the conversation. The one that really created a lot of interest, and I didn't think anybody care a hoot about it, was I wrote one about the grandfather clock. And we've had this clock in our family for years. It belonged to my grandmother, and she had it until it was a wedding present to her from her husband, and it was handmade in Philadelphia. And then she had it till she died, and then my mom inherited it. And so my mom had it till she died, and my dad kept it till he died. And then I've got it now, and now it goes to my son when I die. And it's almost a couple hundred years old, and it keeps perfect time. I mean, it's an old mechanical clock. The problem is finding anyone qualified to work on them.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, the idea,
that problem.
so the question became, hey, out there, do any of you have clocks, or what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? And the idea is to get people engaged in the conversation. So
nice.
And that's what you guys do on your what I saw on your website, some of the videos. I like your videos, by the way. Your photography is very good. I don't think I'd want to go diving in a missile tube, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cool to me.
That is a bit extreme, right?
Yeah. Well, I just found we're out here in the desert in Yuma, and I found a rock quarry that's flooded, and I was sort of thinking about trying to scuba dive in it, but it's out in the middle of the desert. No one's around.
Well, I'm certified. I did that. I did it years ago. We had a swimming pool, and 40 years ago, we had a swimming pool, and it had a diving well that was like 15 or 16 feet deep. And I got certified just to clean the thing. But I never did my open water dive. But friends of mine do it, and it must be a lot of fun to do.
It is.
So, but I understand your wife is not up to some of these places. Did you go on the one with the sharks or not?
No, that was too long of a boat ride for me, because I also get seasick, which is a problem for going too far in the ocean.
Yeah, that's a 3-hour boat ride out to that one. But we dove in the Keys.
I can do the Keys because it's not as long of a boat ride, and it's warm.
Yeah.
I don't really do the cold water as well as he does. Yeah. He has a dry suit and I don't. And I get cold diving in the Keys. So
we did do that one boat.
I've lost over 100 pounds, and I've taken up kayaking. And when I was a young kid, we used to race kayaks, real long 20-footers, little skinny thing. And I'm back into that. And I bought 3 kayaks for my grandkids several years ago when I weighed 100 pounds more. And I bought them so we could go on adventures and exploring our lake. So, boy, I bought these kayaks. We went down, and I had my kayak. I bought them from the kids. So the kids started to go out, and their mother said, "Where are you going?" "Well, we're going. Papa said we could go on an adventure and explore the lake." And she said, "You're not going anywhere without an adult with you." So that's all I did. I went down and bought me a kayak, and I told the owner of the place, I want the lightest and fastest kayak you've got. And he looked at me, because I was about 300 pounds. he said, "Sir, I don't." He said, "I think you need this one over here. It's sort of like a fishing kayak." And I said, "No, no, no, no. You don't understand. I want to keep up with my kids. I want a fast one. I wouldn't recommend that." Anyway, I bought it, took it home. So now the three kids and Papa are ready to jump in the kayaks to go exploring. I jump in the kayak and I flipped the thing over within a fraction of a second.
Oh, wow.
Because the weight's up on top, and I couldn't stay in it. So finally, the kids came up and said, "Papa, are we going exploring, or are you just going to sit there and tump over?" So that was the emphasis that got me to start losing weight. So now we try to kayak every day that we're home and I bought a wetsuit this fall to try to extend my time a little bit. And actually, I bought a wet dry suit. I tried to put that thing on, and I got claustrophobia. I didn't want anything to do with it. So
it's no fun, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Well, it's been great talking to you. I'm trying to see if anybody here has any questions for you, but I guess we got a lot of good ones done.
Well, we know FMCA.com is the main site, and so that's going to have a new look pretty soon in the next coming days, it sounds like. So that'll be exciting to see.
Right.
Oh, just dropped my phone. I just thought little shameless plug since it's my camera.
Oh,
look
there
at
you
that
go.
pretty Newmar on that cover.
Wow. That's beautiful. I like that. The RV dream. Good.
That's our that's our RV right there.
It's beautiful. Now look,
sitting out in Idaho.
Be sure to look at your February magazine. The one that you're going to get.
I saw that.
Have you seen
today? The cover. Just in the email, they sent out an email today previewing that cover, saying we could get online and read it now. So
with the trailer on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first time in the 54-year history of FMCA that there's ever been a trailer on the magazine cover. So that's a collector's item. And we're completely redesigning the magazine, and I've been told that we're trying to launch that on May for the May issue, and it will have a whole new name. We're calling our magazine Family RVing. So that's the new name of the magazine. So as soon as we're done here, I got to jump on and see if I can get that preview of that cover. And think of anything?
One last thing. I had a question from someone the other day when we brought up FMCA and said and they're like, what does that stand for? And I'm like, well, currently it's Family Motor Coach, and Association. And they're like, family, but do you guys have kids? And so what really is not just because you have kids, right? It's open to everyone.
Everybody. But I think family is always a part of it. I always get asked, are we going to change the name since we now have towables and the actual name is Motor Coach? Will we change the name? And the answer is no. FMCA is a symbol that everybody recognizes, and our lawyers say we don't have to change it. And the example is ARR, whatever that old ARRP. They take people under 55. Although they'll take anyone that wants to join. So it's not just for retired people.
Yeah.
So, same thing with FMCA.
Yeah.
So,
we think of it like KFC. That used to be Kentucky Fried Chicken, but they're not just fried chicken anymore. So they're just KFC.
Yeah.
So, that's a good example. I like that one. So, but if you got any suggestions, if you want to have a get together with people, we're looking for ideas to attract and do interesting things for the younger people. I'm 70 years old. My wife's same age I am, and we go whitewater rafting. We go kayaking. I went four-wheeling out in where was that place? Somewhere in New Mexico, Farmington, New Mexico. That's a site where they do the World Championship spider climbing and all that. A guy took me out rock climbing on his Jeep, and it was absolutely fascinating for me. And he had this Jeep, it looked like it came right off the showroom, and he was going down these old trails, and bushes was scraping the side of the thing. And
yeah.
And I said, well, you're going to scratch up your Jeep. Oh, that's okay. That'll give me another project to buff out the scratches. So they're really enthusiastic on everything they do. We got people who go mountain climbing, hiking, going, climbing up the 14K mountains. I mean, snow ski. I still snow ski. I still water ski. I'm trying to stay as young as I can for as long as I can. So.
It seems to be a trend with RVers. We don't want to just sit and wait. We want to go have fun as long as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right. And I met a guy, had lunch with a guy the other day. He's 88 years old. He didn't look a day older than 55. And he was energetic and full of excitement and had all kinds of ideas. And it's really good to see people like that. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything else for me?
I think we're good. I'm not seeing any more question. I see Krista's been hanging out. She says the magazine looks good as well. She might be a little biased, but I think it looks good also, but I'm probably biased too. But
yeah.
No, I think we're good.
So yeah, you can check out Join John's journey and follow him along the U.S. on his travels as he's going around visiting the chapters, the area chapters, and FMCA.com, and to go check out FMCA, learn about their benefits and see what they're offering. And the Perry, the rally is in March, right? March 15th?
Yes, March the 15th. And then
March the 15th in Perry, Georgia.
July 18th.
Okay, yes, in Gillette. So if you're not in the east, then you can go to the west, right?
Right. And by the way, the Perry convention on March 15th, we've got more people already signed up for it than it's ever attended in the last 10 or 15 years. So that's going to be a wonderful event.
Wow.
So if you're all anywhere near there, come and join us. And so anyway,
we did have one.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, one quick question. We touched on a little bit, but what's the annual cost to be a member of FMCA?
Right now, it's $60 for the first year. That gives you your plates and all your initiation packets and all that. And then it's $50 a year thereafter. You can prepay up to 5 years, and the more years you pay in advance, the cheaper they give you discounts for.
Okay.
But it's $50 a year right now.
All right. So $69 your first year to get started, and then $50 after that.
Yep, $60 first year.
Awesome.
Initially $50. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and as you start looking out there on the road, you'll start seeing the FMCA oval plaque, the egg plaque on all the RVs that are going down the road. You'll see them attached to the ladders, and they've been around forever, since very early in the club's beginning.
And if you don't want to drill holes in your rig, we got them. We got Klingons. We got the little plastic ones. We got the ones that you can have made for your tow vehicles, windshield. So we got you can order all kinds of different versions of that if you don't want to actually punch a hole in your side of your rig. Oh.
Nice.
That's nice. Yeah. That's handy. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
It's been a good talk. We wish you well, and making your way back to Perry.
All right. Well, keep in touch, and I want to meet you guys in person soon. Okay.
Yeah, we tried the other day and just missed you, but we will meet you in person.
We'll
for sure.
And if you're going back to Elkhart, we go through Indiana because that's where I'm originally from. So
where?
We'll be back by.
Where in Indiana?
I grew up in Muncie, but no one lives there anymore. It's more like Kokomo, and then my mom was in Fort Wayne for a bit, but she just moved. So,
yeah. But your grandmother and family is still in Kokomo, so we go back through Kokomo quite a lot.
Yeah.
we go by, used to go through Kokomo all the way, time going to Indianapolis. Now they got that bypass around it, so you don't really have to go down into Kokomo. So, all right, well, thanks a lot, and
Yeah.
we'll see you. Krista, talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. We'll see you. So how
All
do
right.
say stop camera? Yeah, I guess I do.
All right. See you guys later. All right. Good night, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed this replay of our Facebook Live show.
Join our Facebook community to participate in the live shows and learn how to live in an RV.
Go to rvtofreedomgroup.com to join the RV to Freedom Facebook group.
And to be notified about our next live videos and more, sign up with the link provided below in the video description.
We want to help you find your RV to freedom.